We are the divided states of America. In moments when we have been tested as a nation again and again in recent years, whether it be COVID-19 or gun violence that takes so many from us every year, when it truly matters that we come together not as Democrats or Republicans, but as human beings and Americans united to protect our country, we have failed systematically and across the board.
Can't we all unite together in peace and harmony and just forget that I was a stupid fool that hyped a pillow company? That will never happen!
And I don't blame the American people. I blame our elected officials that have failed at their most important job, which is to help unite the people, especially in moments of crisis, and to act, not to debate, not to say Democrats are the issue or Republicans are the issue, but to say that the issue in this case is gun violence.
And I don't blame myself for being suckered into a pillow scam. I blame my former business partner. Thank you very much, Bill Gates, for making me look like a total damn fool before the entire world.
But they don't want to, and I'll tell you why. Because they like to be comfortable.
Comfortable? Perhaps you need a good pillow. Shut up about the pillows already!
They want us to believe that the issue is everyday Americans that have different political views than us, when in reality, the real issue are the people with power that choose to do nothing, even though they have it.
I hope during these ridiculously long pauses that you just forget that I ever mentioned the word pillow! Just forget about it!
If we are going to solve gun violence, it is on us as a people to become the United States of America. Not only united against gun violence, but united against the injustice and violence that drives it. United against the poverty and systemic racism that was purpose-built into this country. That is united for our children and for our future.
United against ever talking about pillows again! Shut up about pillows! Please, please! I don't want to hear more pillows! Forget about pillows!
Where when we're signing laws, we're not thinking about whether or not we're going to lose an election. We're thinking about whether or not this is actually going to help protect the future of our children and the future of our country, because in reality, that is what really matters. That focus on the future of our country and the protection of our children should be at the core of all of our political decisions. But it's not. But it can be. And the first step to doing that is Republicans coming forward and conservative Democrats coming forward and taking a stand for something, and realizing there's 1,000 times more honor in actually being a leader, and understanding that leaders have to do courageous things, sometimes things that may cost them their careers, but ultimately is the right thing.
It might ultimately cost you your pillow company, but I can still afford drama lessons in order to perform these ridiculously long pauses.
Because I'll tell you what, if what you're concerned about is your legacy and how you'll look in the history books, the answer is, it's going to be written by people like me and other young people. We're going to write the history books about you. You get to decide what your legacy is.
And please, don't let my legacy be a laughably failed pillow company! Dramatic pause.
It can be one of division and destruction in the beginning of the end, or the beginning of a new beginning.
Or the beginning of the end of the new beginning, where you just forget what an idiot I was for blabbing out the name of my new pillow company before I even registered it. Dramatic pause.
Where the United States is truly, actually united against injustice and progresses towards building what Dr. King talked about in building the beloved community. Because that can be your legacy. But you have to have the courage to step up and stand for it. What we need to do is work across the aisle, because the reality is none of this is ever going to happen with a filibuster in its current form. And until that changes or doesn't change, the reality is people are going to continue dying, and we don't have time to wait. So we need to work across the aisle and make something happen. So if you're a Republican and you don't agree with any new gun laws, but you think that we need to focus on mental health care and getting better funding for that, that's important, and it does need to happen. Go and focus on that. Call your elected official and demand that states get better funding for their mental health care systems to address the two-thirds of gun deaths that are suicides. If you're a Democrat that thinks that gun laws do need to be improved, but we also need to address, as I do, the systemic injustice and poverty and racism that drives so much gun violence, call your elected official and demand that as well. Especially call conservative Democrats and demand that they support that as well and talk about it.
Let me now filibuster so you just forget about pillows! Blah, blah, blah. Pillows, pillows, pillows! Blah, blah, blah. Pillows, pillows, pillows!
If you're a business owner, there's major potential for you to help here, which is that if you make your company take a stand, businesses have a lot of power in the American political system as the world's largest economy. Corporate citizens can have a major impact by taking a stand and saying that we need to end gun violence. So please, even if you're a small business owner or if you're a CEO, encourage your company to take a stand, because we need to end this senseless violence that is preventable. And ultimately, most importantly, we need to show our elected officials that we are more than just the filibuster, that as a country, we actually are united to address gun violence and the preventable deaths that sadly happen way too often in the United States. But the way that we do that is by stopping the division that they use to, stay comfortable, and after these instances, divide us against each other, turn us into talking points on TV, and then move on afterwards and just have their same talking points of thoughts and prayers that they've had for decades. Because we can't end this issue, but we have to show our elected officials that we as the American people are united. Even if we have our disagreements, we converge on the same point, which is that we have a right to the we have a right to domestic tranquility, as talked about in the preamble of the Constitution. And in my opinion, that we have, it's a well-regulated militia, but it's not currently at all, considering the state of affairs that we are currently in. So let's work together and end this.
Blah, blah, blah. Pillow, pillow, pillow. Blah, blah, blah. Pillow, pillow, pillow. Pillow, pillow, pillow. Pillow, pillow.